Hello, welcome to the Believe Africa podcast. We are having conversations that inspire, transforming minds, creating minds that revolutionize. I am your host, Cyril Awere, and I would like to start by saying thank you to all of you as our listeners for participating in the growth of the brand. We did a season 2 in Ghana, Accra, earlier on in the year, and this is proven to be very, very successful. So this time we're in Morocco, Casablanca to be specific. And we have with us our guest, Khalid, speaking about opportunities abound. This is episode 8. So I met Khalid here in Casablanca through another friend, and we began to have a conversation, we began to chat. And I so loved Khalid's story. And I felt that it would be really great if he could participate on this season's episode. So Khalid gladly agreed to participate, and so we have him here to share his story, and hopefully you would find it equally inspiring. Hello, Khalid.
Hello, Cyril.
Yes, it's so wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure is mine. Thanks for having me.
Good. And as I was explaining earlier, your story is really, really amazing. I think it's quite important for young Africans to hear your journey, and it's very hopefully going to encourage young Africans not to give up, regardless of where they are in terms of their circumstances. So we will start with you giving a quick introduction of yourself, Khalid, and what is it that drew you into becoming very interested in this area of opportunities and growth?
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for having me. My name is Khalid Ammani. I am Moroccan.
Okay.
Originally, I'm from Rashidia, a little town at the southeast of Morocco.
Right.
I got my degree in English from the University Mohammed VI in Rabat, the capital.
Okay.
And then I studied languages and communication. What is a bit particular about my story is that I am basically physically challenged.
Yes.
I have an ability, a
Yes.
disability, right? I'm suffering from poliomyelitis.
Right. From birth.
Yeah, not from birth, not literally from birth, but here it goes. At the age of 6, I was to walk like all normal kids.
Yeah.
But for some medical accident, I had poliomyelitis, and then
Right.
my life changed
Right.
100% in the sense that I become disabled.
Yes.
And then I had to use a walking machine and crutches all my life,
Right.
which I have been doing now for more than 40 years,
Of
right?
course. Yes.
So, and because of that incident, my life has changed in a way that I didn't go to school, like normal kids.
Yeah.
Because at that time in my city, the infrastructure was not really like convenient
Absolutely.
enough to be able to go to school in normal conditions. Therefore, my family thought of putting me in a boarding school.
Right.
At that time, that boarding school was managed by Save the Children Fund.
Oh, Save the
British,
Children.
yeah,
Right.
British organization.
Yeah.
And that was meant only for kids with disability, the like of mine. So I spent like nearly 12 years there, literally from primary school up to the baccalaureate, and I got my baccalaureate around 1992, and then I moved to Rabat to study at the university, etc. And since then, my life has started.
You've continued, yeah.
Yeah, I continued. So I would say that I didn't choose,
Of course.
to be undergoing all these circumstances. I was in a way forced to do that because I was a kid and then I was normally supposed to live in normal conditions like any other kid. But because of that accident, everything has changed.
Yes.
But one thing is like perfect about it is that I had a chance, and thanks to that school, thanks to Save Children Fund, by the way, to be who I am today. Because I guess that if it was not given that opportunity, probably I would not have gone to school, or maybe I couldn't maybe finish even my studies, or maybe my career should not have been as it is right now. So thanks to that opportunity, I studied, I got my baccalaureate and then my BA and then my master's degree. And now I am a full-fledged person. And it's true that I am still suffering from disability. It's true that because of that, I'm going through special situations and I'm still, let's say, fighting my conditions. I'm still looking for a job. I'm still trying to build my career. I'm still trying to get a fixed situation, etc. But I'm always optimist. And I said, I have learned from my first experience when I went into a normal kid, into a physically challenged kid. And what I have lived so far has made of me a person that believe 100% in the idea that the mindset is the most important part of it, because we are all destined to live in different circumstances with certain kind of degrees of difficulties, etc. Mine is really difficult as well right now, but I am always convinced that it's all about chasing your dream, persevering, working hard, and thinking positive, having like what we call in French la mentalité gagnante. That means the victorious mentality, the victorious mindset. Means you can say, okay, I will go through it, I'll break through, as simple as that. Everything can be figured out if we believe in that, in ourselves, if we believe in our competencies, in our skills, in our way of doing things. And I guess that in every single difficult situation, there is always
something to learn
from it. There's always some ingredients that would make of you a powerful person and would give you the chance to go forward and overcome the circumstances and just build yourself in the best of ways you can imagine.
So because what I find really remarkable is being someone who is physically challenged in Africa is in itself a big challenge, because as you say, the facilities, the environment doesn't have all the structures in place that is enabling that sort of ease of movement, mobility to different places. And yet, when I was moving around with you across Casablanca, I kept thinking, how is Khalid going to manage in all these different circumstances? There's no
accessibilities, no facilities.
Exactly, for disabled people. But what I found really remarkable was that you were just going regardless. Right?
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm.
You were just moving.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Is to say that sometimes when you have no facilities, no accessibilities, nothing is easy for you. You learn how to make things easy for you. You get adapted. You adjust yourself to that, and by the end of the day, you realize that it is always workable. You can always make it. I'm gonna go back to the idea of having no facilities. Sometimes, to be honest with you, I have a double feeling, like a mixed feeling. Sometimes I have the feeling, especially in the past, in my country, we didn't have a lot of infrastructures and accessibilities, facilities for handicapped people, like in UK or in America or wherever, or in Europe or whatever. And I always had to ask myself, oh my God, maybe I'm not lucky because I have no facilities then. But I realized that I became stronger. I became do-it-yourself kind of person,
Yes.
more than anywhere else where I could have these facilities.
Exactly that, Khalid.
And then I became let's just say an adjustable person,
Yes.
which is a good thing,
Being able to
because I have some friends from other countries who have got extremely everything they want.
This is what I was going to
and then they become really like kind of dependent, reliant, and not like some of them are just like literally dead because they do nothing.
Yes.
So it's
they have all their faculties.
Yeah,
together,
sometimes when you don't have what you like, you must like what you have. That's my motto. That's my philosophy. I said, okay, well, thanks to this situation, and up to now, I'm living in real precarity because I don't have a job. I don't have somewhere to live. I'm still in the middle of nowhere, but I am convinced and confident that I would break through, because it's all about the mechanism of do it yourself.
Yes, and you never know, there could be someone watching this conversation and think, I must have Khalid in my team. This sounds like a person.
Pleasure. I would definitely welcome
this
that.
Sounds like a person that I need to have on my team. He just has the right mindset. That's pretty much what I need.
I would really welcome that. I would be more than happy to do that. But the idea, the point is that when you have everything, you literally do nothing.
Yes, essentially what you are saying is that when things are too easy, it's probably not a good place necessarily, right?
Exactly. Sometimes we need to have certain quote unquote hard circumstances, so that it's part of the building process. It's part of forging the personality. I'm telling you, because of having no accessibilities, physical accessibilities, I end up being able to have access to more than 90% of all infrastructures. And I'm sure that if I had a wheel, for example, some other friends of mine, people who have been kids, who've been with me at the school, and now they are old people, the like of mine. Some of them have chosen to be on wheelchairs. Whereas I have never been on wheelchair, because I always thought that if I am on wheelchair, that means I am pushing myself to the corner, and I'm just like killing myself. And that's exactly what happened now. Some of them are getting just...
So they are now pretty much permanently in the wheelchair.
Yeah, well, they're just like lazy now. They can do like nothing. And that's exactly a very good example about life. Never leave circumstances fix you. No, try to fix them. Try and move on. Keep
don't make any excuses.
No many
Just
excuses.
Exactly. Take ownership.
That's why I said probably it's nice to be stubborn sometimes. It's okay, I'm not going to be stubborn. No, I will have to go. And just
this is exactly what I saw in you, Khalid. I thought this gentleman is far too stubborn. I mean, he's clearly, visibly sort of, in a challenged situation, but he's not listening.
And you remember the story we had at the train station, when there was like a lift, but they wanted to go on the stairs because...
Yes, I remember this very well. The lift was there, but Khalid said, no, the stairs are here, we can just take this.
Okay, if you would ask me why, I would simply tell you, make sure that one day the lift is out of order. So if I learn to go, okay, I enjoy the lift, and I always take the lift, then I never try to take stairs. But the day when the lift is out of order, or something goes wrong with it, then I'm stuck.
Then you're stuck, yes.
So I don't want to be stuck in my life. That's like the way, that's the mindset. And that's the kind of message I would really be happy to transmit, to share with all African young people. Keep that in mind. I would not go for the option A, I would go for option B, even if option A is available, because if I go option A, I'll become...
I resonate with what you're saying, Khalid. I think the comfort zone is a very, very dangerous place to be.
It's poisonous.
This is what I'm learning.
It's a virus.
If you can see a challenging situation, just go for it.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's better to go for it by your own choice than to be forced to go for it. Because if you go for it, then you would develop mechanisms of overcoming.
So I mean, going back to why your story is so important, Khalid, is that because we have a lot of young Africans who are physically all together, right? There's no reason why they cannot be active in doing something, right, in terms of work. And when they are hearing your story, perhaps this is an opportunity for them to self-reflect, to say that, okay, Khalid here is physically impaired, what does that mean for me?
What can I learn from Khalid?
Exactly, right, yeah.
Right.
And the fact that it's all about how we are thinking in terms of how we are embracing this journey through difficulty. We don't like difficulty very much, but as you're describing it, it's the very thing that we need in order to make us stronger, right, as we go through life. Well, what do you think, Khalid? I mean, let's talk about this from a Moroccan perspective. How does this look like for young Moroccans from your observation? Do you see that young Moroccans are kind of equally they have a similar mindset where they are sort of go-getters or whatever, or do you think that some have this challenge with limiting beliefs on themselves, right? Because I think it's good for not just Moroccans but all Africans as well to recognize where they are and then take the necessary action. But do you have any views on that from a Moroccan perspective?
Okay, let me first go back to the idea of having difficulties and hard circumstances.
Yeah.
I would always keep saying that the hard circumstances are the first step into the comfort zone, the real comfort zone.
Yes.
Okay? If you want to be in the best comfort zone, the most convenient for you, get out of the current one.
Yes.
That's number one.
Okay.
For young people, be them in Africa or in Morocco in particular, what I would really, to be honest with you, I have a mixed
you have a mixed
feeling about them, observation.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you. For example, we keep saying that young generation in Morocco are getting more and more careless, reliable, dependent on their parents, on the community, on the society, want to do almost nothing, etc. I mean, we kept having that. We olders think that they are probably negative more than positive.
Right.
But I'm going to give you a very good example of a situation in which I was completely surprised to change 100% about my perception about mine as well as many other people's perception, actually, or the general perception, is when the earthquake took place in Morocco in the south. It was a heavy historical event that happened, and a very tragic event, by the way. But the first people who reacted and did perfect job was young people, and those young people whom we had thought before that they are almost capable of nothing. They were the first initiators, and they moved and they acted in such a way that everybody was like, not only in Morocco, but they were so impressive even at the international level. Everybody was like, wow, what these guys are doing is just like fantastic. They helped the country, they helped the state in a way that nobody expected. So that was an excellent example to say, hey guys, stop jumping into conclusions, assumptions, or stereotypes. We're gonna need. And now I have another way of seeing things. Young generation, like in Morocco, like everywhere else, they need to be pushed into, let's say, real circumstances to see what they are able to do. Because I'm sure that Moroccan young generation, after the experience of the earthquake, they gave us a lesson. That means, okay, when we are needed, we are there. So they have to be pushed. They have just to be given the chance. If they are given, they can do. But just because they are in their comfort zone and they're not pushed, and like nobody take care of them, nobody looks at them, nobody wants to push them, then they just take it for granted. That's it, exactly that. But they are able to more than what we think, actually. That's what I have. They just have to get inspired by real stories.
It's inspiration.
Which
is why we have this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. For example, that's an excellent way. I mean, I congratulate you for the idea of having the podcast, things like that, because people should know
to hear more about
stories somewhere else. because we all live in this planet, but we all live different stories and different circumstances, different situations. But all of us have one thing in common: mindset, comfort zone, change. Okay, I can or I cannot. So I hope that for example, my personal story and the story of many others would inspire these guys to say that it's never late. We can always do it. Just go for it. And you are more able than you think of yourself. You have more potential than you think. But just you need to believe in yourself, as simple as that. And believe that it can be done. Because that negative thinking, negative stereotype that, oh no, it cannot be better. That's more of a poison, more of a virus.
But what do you think from a cultural perspective, Khalid? What is helping us towards being there for people like yourself who are, physically challenged? What do you think are the cultural traits that could be helping us to become more aware of people like you who are physically challenged and trying to change the narrative? You mentioned there about the earthquake that happened, and a lot of young people came to the aid, and I was just thinking about this from those that are physically challenged perspective, right? How can we help to bring about this awareness so that more and more of us are thinking we need to be there for people like Khalid?
Do you think that you're asking me, like, if I got you right, if I understand you, that means what should we normally do?
What steps can we take as a people to help to bring more awareness about people that are...
I think that to bring people to get more aware of situations like for disabled people or for minorities or for people in need or whatever, it's up to these people, the concerned people themselves. To do. We keep, for example, talking about integration, social inclusion, for example, one of the issues that we've been discussing. And it has been a long debate about, for example, physically challenged people in my country. Should they include themselves or should they be included? Is it me going to society or society coming to me? I am one of the people who think that it's all really responsibility of the concerned people themselves. That means if I don't go into community, the community would not come to me. It's about
back to taking the self-responsibility,
exactly. That means self-awareness should come first. If you're not aware of yourself, nobody's going to be aware of you. That's number. But when I say you're aware of yourself, that means you're aware of your strengths, threats, weaknesses, whatever. And then if you have a mindset as, okay, I am who I am, and I will go for it, as simple as that, then community would accept you, then community would integrate you. And don't forget that community, by the end of the day, is made of individuals like you. So we are all, quote unquote, handicapped somehow, and we all need each other to be in an inclusive environment.
So it's just recognizing that, isn't it? Recognizing that in fact we are all interconnected.
Exactly. We are all interconnected, and we are all having abilities and disabilities, and your ability is maybe my disability, and your disability might be my ability, and then it's the synergy that makes sense. So if I have to make sure that you get aware of it, I don't want. It's very hard for the community to understand that if we as individuals don't act on that, because community should also be taught, instructed, incited about this. Because we can say, what should young people do to help elderly, to help refugees, to help immigrants, to help physically challenged people? No, those
should
people
be an ethical
should.
thing to do. Actually,
Yeah,
even,
should be
right?
ethical.
Yes.
Yeah, but you should not be taken for granted that society should act,
Hmm.
because society is nothing but a set of individuals. Am I right?
Right.
And these individuals, they all share the same burden, the same needs,
Different,
the
yeah.
same, yeah, in a different way.
You were saying, Khalid, that we all have different disabilities, and I was just thinking there that my disability is probably a mental one compared to yours, right? You have a
Yeah.
much stronger mindset than I
Yeah,
do.
if you don't admit that you have a disability, that means you are a perfect person.
No, yeah,
And as we all admit that nobody's perfect.
Yes, yes.
Perfectness is God, is an extreme power,
Yeah.
not us. We are limited,
Yeah.
no matter how powerful we are.
So
how
I was
good
just
we are.
thinking about this, Khalid. When we say, I think to what you were just saying there about the need, the importance of us, whoever it is that is impacted, taking the ownership and driving whatever change it is that we want to bring in place. So what you're saying also is that for young Africans, they have to take ownership.
Yeah.
Of where they want to be,
Yeah.
right? They should
Yeah.
not be expecting the government or the state or some
Yeah.
body or whatever to come to their aid, right? They should take ownership.
Well, they should expect
Yeah.
the society, the state, the government, the associations, whatever, the structure, the organization to come to help them. They should expect that, but they should act on that. There's a big difference
Stating,
between
yeah.
I am expecting you to help me, to come to help me, to do something for me, and I'm just like waiting, I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
No, but I have to go to you. I have to show you that I am able,
how-
this is what I need from you, and etc. And then I have to demonstrate that if I am given these tools, if I'm given these instruments, I would be
This is
able
what
to
I
this
can
and
do.
this. This is what I can do.
right.
I can't just come, please give me that, and then I will do. No.
Yes, I think
And that's
this
a
is
big
the,
problem,
challenge.
actually. Yeah.
This is the big challenge.
Normally, we should move from the negative mindset into the positive mindset. I would say that I can do whatever I want to do if I am aware that it can be done.
Then yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
no matter how difficult it is. All
I
right.
think you're saying that young Africans want to be more action oriented, isn't it?
Yeah.
First of all, thinking in the right way, and then being prepared to take action.
Yeah.
As opposed to expecting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take action and also be mind focused. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't like imitate. Just go for check yourself first.
Yes. Right.
Check your abilities first. Check your weaknesses.
Right.
Check and admit them 1st. Okay. I have to think. I am disabled, physically disabled, for example. Well, let's say if we put it into the list of or the block of minuses.
Yes.
Okay, that's some minus, no problem. But they have other pluses.
Yes. Of
Okay.
course.
And if my minuses are obstacles, my pluses are impulsives. So I go for them, I use them, I act on them. Okay, and then I make them change everything, and then I have to change that. Look, we generally say, and I agree with that statement, that if we can't leave our differences,
Yes.
we can live our similarities, can't we? Which means, if we
Yeah,
can't
there's
live
definitely
differences, then let's go for similarity. I would coin the same, I would borrow the same spirit of idea and put it into, if I have minuses, I have pluses. So if I want to change my life, I need to focus on my pluses. I shouldn't look at my minuses because that's going to be making me also in the...
The reason why I felt our conversation wants to focus more on the mentality and the sort of the mindset piece is that there are different forums for young Africans that want to go into entrepreneurship or maybe they're looking for a job, etc. There are different networks. There are different ways for them to embark on those avenues, but the foundational part is the thinking and then taking action, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
and that's why
I mean it doesn't have to do with going into forums, taking any kind of action if you're not aware of yourself. Number one, that's
self-awareness.
really important.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is very important. Environment awareness is very important.
Yes.
Okay, and also threats and strengths awareness is also important.
Yes.
And also the most important part of all this is to take your life like easy. Don't complicate things. Just set a plan, go for it. You might not achieve goals, simple as that, but doesn't mean the end of the story, no. Reset the plan again. Try it again and again and again, and then you'll end up finished. It's all about the mindset. If you keep in mind that, okay, oh, it doesn't work, I'm hopeless, I'm desperate.
And you know, I'm going back to when we first met, by the way. You know, as I mentioned before, I was really particularly impressed with how you carry yourself, you know, the way you think, etc. Especially being someone who's, you know, physically challenged. And that's what attracted me to you, by the way. Yeah?
Okay.
So all of a sudden, your physical impairment is of no relevance to me because there's something different about this, this guy that I've met.
That's exactly a very good example of inclusion. I have included myself into your environment.
Yeah.
You said like, okay, I just forgot that this guy is having some sort of disability. He looks like, wow.
Yeah.
It's exactly, that's the point. It means like, okay, just go for it.
Yeah.
Act it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think that for our young Africans, there might be thinking about all these other limitations that they have instead of focusing on their strengths, as you said, right?
Yeah.
How are they projecting themselves outward? Because you just never know who you could meet. It wasn't planned for you and I to meet.
Yeah. It's only because of that.
It was just right.
Sheer coincidence, actually.
Right. Yeah. So if you come across in the right way, you just never know who you could meet, and that could be the beginning of a wonderful journey.
Exactly. Just go, act, believe in yourself, and don't put any expectations. That's very important because sometimes when we try fixing goals. And then say, okay, for example, many people ask me, because I am someone who speaks languages. I speak French, English, Spanish, and Arabic. As I'm in languages,
that's a very positive strength.
People keep asking me, how do we learn languages? I said, okay, when you decide that you want to learn a language, never put deadlines or objectives. I want to do this. I want to be excellent speaker. No. Don't fix objectives.
Smart goals.
Just don't have smart goals.
Just go with the flow.
Just go for it. Go to flow. Enjoy it.
Right.
Okay. Make some sort of. Okay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. For example, when you go to the gym, you want to lose some weight, right? You go. If you think about when I'm gonna lose that, when am I going to be slim, stuff like that? Make sure it's gonna be stressful.
That's so interesting, Khalid, because that's what most of us have been taught.
Young Africans should just start saying, okay, I want to do this. I go into it. I forget about the objectives.
Perspective,
and then one day you would wake up and say, oh, my English has become perfect. Right. My French, my weight has changed, my form, etc. But when you fix objectives, that is a kind of stressful situation for you, because you keep focused on that, and especially when things get a little bit difficult, then you say, oh my, and then it's like, okay, you started, that's the beginning of the collapse. No, I just go for it and I forget about it. What would it give by the end of the day? I'm just enjoying it for the time being, and let's see what happens next. Full stop. Even for my life, for my job. Look, I have no job. I have no, as I told you, nowhere to live. I am still in the same precarious situation, and I'm 50 years old, by the way. I haven't started my life. But if I was not me, somebody else would have been thinking very negative and probably go even astray. But because I have that feeling, I'm saying, okay, well, it's never late.
Right. How it's never late?
It has never been late. Age is just a figure.
And I can see a very, very bright future for you, by the way, Khalid.
Thank you so much. Well, I have to say, I have to see it that way, because that's why I'm preaching now. I'm trying to show young people that take that example. Never faint. Never give up. Keep going, but don't fix objectives. Because when you don't meet them,
then it becomes
frustration,
disheartening.
It's disappointed, and then it's a heavy burden on everybody's shoulders. But when you say, okay, fine, I'm doing my best, I'm gonna do it, surely you will. If you take a farmer who plants a tree, if he thinks one of the days the tree is gonna give the The
It
fruits.
doesn't happen overnight.
Whoa. No, even if he thinks about that, it's gonna be like a headache for him.
Yeah.
But he just go for it.
Yeah, Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah.
The other say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy to get aware of that, but the problem is that when it comes to you personally, for example, some people say, okay, yeah, I know that a journey of 1,000 miles starts by the
Yes,
first mile.
Yes.
But that's a feeling. But when they act, they say no, they want to reach the 1,000 just first act. No.
And that's a big challenge because our young Africans have a tendency to be a bit impatient as well.
Impatient.
They want that thing like tomorrow.
Quickly, yeah. And also they should be self-responsible. That's very important as well. Because most of the time we tend to blame other.
Yes. Take responsibility.
The other for instead of saying I am, I use the other, the government, the state, the family, the community, the circumstances, the weather. No. Go do away with the passive voice. Be in the active voice.
Yeah.
You know that means, like, for example, if I am late, I never say I am late because I was not on time.
Yes.
I said the bus has left.
Yes, the bus is
stop showing that. Stop saying that, because that doesn't make sense.
You know, I have so enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you,
Khalid.
me too. Pleasure is mine.
Yeah, thank you for opening up on your story, because you know your journey is exemplifies the importance of tenacity and not giving up, mental strength. So really appreciate you.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for having me. It was really a pleasure, and I congratulate you for the idea, because it's really brilliant to share best practice and best stories, and because that's the point. Actually, we need to share
we need to share more
of these stories.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to learn from each other.
Absolutely.
As simple as that.
Absolutely,
Nobody can grow by himself, or nobody can achieve goals by himself.
It's a community.
If you want to break through, just get in touch with others, and acknowledge your disabilities and your abilities.
Yeah.
And as I told you, if you are able, I am disabled, but when you are disabled, I am able. As simple as that.
Love that.
Exactly.
Love that. So thank you very much for listening in, our listeners. I think this is a story that if you are not getting inspired by this story, then I am not sure what will inspire you. And this is why we thought it would be really great to have Khalid with us today. So please stay tuned, keep in touch with us on our social media platforms, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you.
If you feel inspired by this conversation, please share your thoughts in the comments below and help us spread the nuggets of wisdom by sharing it with people who can also benefit from this content. And please remember to like and subscribe to support our channel. Together we are bringing positive change to our world. Keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep shifting those minds. Looking forward to you joining us at the next episode.